Forget about the Red River rivalry. We got Fernando Mendoza, Kurt Cignetti, and the Indiana Hoosiers heading out west to face Dan Lanning and his Oregon Ducks. This is the game of the week in college football. With all of the hype surrounding the SEC next week, they can have it. But the Big Ten can have one of the best matchups of the entire season. A Big Ten top 10 matchup at Outson Stadium. I cannot even imagine what the decibel levels will be like. I imagine a lot of you people will be at the game, and I expect it to be an instant classic. Now, Oregon, we have to start there because the last time we saw them, it was their guy in the secondary coming up with a heck of a play. Dylan Tiedemann with the interception to seal the deal against Drew Aller and Penn State. Now, they had such a devastating loss. Apparently, it also had a hangover to the fact that they lost to the UCLA Bruins and Jim Knowles' team giving up 40 points. That does not take away an ounce of what it means for a team to go into that environment and win. It's a little bit different now getting this game at home, but I have to say, Dante Moore, he was every bit as impressive as what Ty Simpson did going into Georgia. He has been unbelievable. Dante Moore getting that win now has the faith of every Oregon Ducks fan that he can make the seamless transition from Bo Nix to Dylan Gabriel, from Dylan Gabriel to Dante Moore, and he might be better than both of those guys. He's got the arm, the athletic ability, and the weapons behind him, and not just that, this offensive line is incredible. Now, before I talk more about that Oregon offense, I got to talk about Indiana because Fernando Mendoza is a baller. This kid came over from Cal and is playing at such a high level. I don't know how he's not easily in New York at the end of the season. Dante Moore Mendoza likely will be there in New York. But Mendoza, why is he playing at a high level? One, because he gets the ball out on time and accurately. In this offense for Indiana, they rely a lot on one-on-ones. It's taking your numbers advantage and saying, all right, we have better players than you guys do, and saying we think that our athletes can make plays in space, and they do. Elijah Sarrat, Omar Cooper Jr., they are incredible at winning their one-on-ones. And the way that Fernando Mendoza has taken advantage of the one-on-one opportunities to those guys and gotten them the football when he's supposed to in the right spot, it's such a difference between putting a football 6 yards in front of a guy so he can get 12 yards after the catch instead of 6 inches behind that spot and he ends up only falling for the first down or that pass gets dropped. Those plays add up over the course of the game. There's 10, 12 plays like that that can decide games, and Fernando Mendoza in this offense has to be so precise. Now, why is he also playing with a ton of confidence? This run game. This run game is spectacular. This Indiana team is better than last year, and they lost to Notre Dame and Ohio State. Those are their only two losses, the teams that were playing for a national championship. Roman Hemby, Kalen Black, they run the football really well. Kobe Martin, he's the touchdown man. I mean, they have such balance in the run game. They keep and rotate those bodies, keep them fresh, and you can't help but draw some similarities to what Oregon does. I mean, they go 5 deep. It's not 6 deep anymore because Mekhi Hughes, I get it. You know, the transfer star from Tulane comes over and he decides to redshirt. So in this game, where is there some sort of an advantage? Because you can go stack for stack. Like, both quarterbacks can move around decently. They both got the run game ability. Like, there's a star at each level of the defense for both of them. You get into the Mikail Kamara versus Mateo Uyunglele. Like, both are great players. Maybe a little bit of an edge to Uyunglele, or back end, or D'Angelo Pons in the secondary for Indiana versus Tiedemann, the transfer from Purdue. All of that's equated. But you know what's not equated? Environments. Outson. In the last real display of what Outson was, it was Ohio State going in there in a night environment. Now, it's not a night environment. It's CBS, Gary Danielson, and Brad Nessler, Jenny Dell on the call for this one. It doesn't matter. That place is going to be freaking crazy. The pre-snaps will come. Indiana having Illinois in their building for the Hoosiers, Bloomington. You don't think that had an impact? This will have an impact. It probably is the loudest stadium in college football, and not just that, they're right on top of you. The sound's coming from 14 feet from behind your back if you're in the end zone and you start inside your 5. So field position, punting, special teams are paramount in this game because, like I said, I don't know if one of these quarterbacks are better. I don't know if either team has better weapons than the other. I would give the offensive line a slight advantage to Dante Moore's Oregon Ducks and the way that they've played so far on the season. I was thoroughly impressed with the way that they protected Dante Moore, and he had time to throw the football against Penn State. I mean, Zane Durant, Zakee Wheatley, denied Dennis Sutton. They got some real dogs, and they didn't show up against UCLA, but they could have really made things tough on Dante Moore. He's been sacked how many times through 5 games, folks? Been sacked once? Nah, it's once a game, right? No, he's been sacked 1 time through 5 games. That's how good the transfers. That's how good Isaiah World's come in there and replaced, right? They lose Josh Connerly to the draft. They're able to just replace that production. It speaks to Dan Lanning, his ability to get guys. And I keep going back and forth because I've got great things to say. Curt Cignetti is establishing a winning culture. To see Indiana in the top 10 in a game like this, and I'm thinking, I don't know if Indiana loses this game by 2 scores. I think they stay in this game throughout the day because they've got talent and they've got a veteran quarterback. They can run the football. Their defense is good. I mean, they stack up pretty well. And I got to tell you, it comes down to the environment for me. When we see the big upsets, where do they happen? In the home environment. A lot of the time, that's just where it happens, right? When we see a team pull off a crazy upset, it's an unranked having them at home in their building. In the top 10s, that can go both ways. If it's Penn State, probably goes the other way. Hopefully not a lot of Penn State fans watching this. Hopefully there is, but thank you for watching. I know this must be tough listening to me saying all these great things about a team you lost to and a team in Indiana you're going to have to look forward to. But the environment is massive for this matchup, and I'm giving that a lean to the Oregon Ducks. I think that's worth 5 points. There could be 4, 5 pre-snap penalties in this game that can decide it. That you don't think it makes a ref a little bit more inclined to get that hanky out there when the crowd is screaming about him, talking about his family? Maybe a little bit, just a tad, a bit more incentivized to throw the flag. Let's talk about the weapons here because it's unbelievable. I want to talk about Omar Cooper Jr. for a second and Elijah Sarrat because these guys just don't get enough love. The entire conference is all about Mekhi Lemon and Jacoby Lane and Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate Claire over there for the Buckeyes. And look, they're unbelievable. The way that these guys have played so far in the season, it's out of the world. When you have 16 touchdowns to a pick, I don't care if you're playing against middle schoolers. Those are hard statistics to put up. And it's really tough to do. My question here is, where does the turnover come? Does it come for Indiana? Turnovers are impossible to predict in these games. If you're a team that takes the football away, especially at home, it's a little bit easier. But again, both offensive lines stack up well. Both teams can run the football and keep their quarterback where? Where's that? Who? 3rd and short. 3rd and 2. Oregon was faced with 3rd downs. They had, 5 4th down opportunities? In the game against Penn State, it's 4th and 1 in overtime. They got to pick up a yard, and Penn State has 4 guys on the line, and they've got 4 guys behind it. I don't know what the heck they're doing. You got to put 8 guys in the box. I don't know what that call was defensively. Still don't get it. But again, coaching. Stein for Oregon. He's going to be a head coach in college football within the next 3 years. I can practically guarantee it. He's just been unbelievable for this team. From quarterback to quarterback to quarterback. He's been phenomenal. Done a great job. Dan Lanning has his team motivated every single week. I don't know if there's a better motivator than Dan Lanning. I mean, he learned from the best in Nick Saban, and guess what? How do you deal with success? Dan Lanning's team has not lost a regular season game in the Big Ten. Does it end this week? Does the streak come to an end in this game against Indiana? Now, before I tell you a little bit about that, I got to keep talking about the weapons because I haven't even mentioned Dakorien Moore. Have I mentioned him yet? True freshman wide receiver. He's the leading guy for the Ducks so far on the season. Kenyon Sadiq, who, oh man, he might be the best tight end in college football. And what you love about Sadiq is he's not all about catches and the kind of new modern era guys that come out of the league. Kind of think about like a Colston Loveland or Warren, who are known some more for the splash plays. Kenyon Sadiq does all the dirty work. I mean, 6'3", 255 pounds, and puts his face mask in your chest. Not targeting, but like he'll play physical. He's sculpted like he's Ares, the Greek god, and he puts his hands on you, and you do not move. I bet this guy's doing his wrist curls because the darn looks pretty good, and he is athletic as it comes. He really is. The football's in his hands. You go low, he'll jump over you. You go high, he'll run through you. He has that ability. Gary Bryant Jr. for this offense establishing. I mean, with Evan Stewart going out, I will be honest with you, I was wrong. I'll admit it. I said that without Evan Stewart, this offense does not possess the talent now to be able to go out and beat Penn State. I think that Penn State team will be too good. I was wrong. I'll admit it. I'll be the first to admit it. I thought that was too big a loss. Little did I know that Dante Moore was completely unfazed. Didn't even blink. I don't even know if the guy does blink. I haven't seen him blink in a single broadcast. Literally, like actually blink his eyeballs. Like, it's not even the sense of blink in a big moment. But the guy just does not fold under pressure. He's cool as a cucumber, calm as one. I'm not so sure that there's anything that can faze him at this stage. And that receiving core stepping up. Malik Benson's been a guy for him. McClellan, I mean, there's weapons on this offense for Oregon now, and then that's not even accounting Hill and Lamar, Whittington in the run game and everything they possess, and Davison, who's the guy that all he does is score touchdowns like Chris Carter for this offense. This Oregon team, I think, will end up winning this football game. I got to be honest with you. I've got them winning 31-23. The crowd environment gives me 5 points. If this game were on a neutral site, I'd probably say something like 27-24, 25. I really do believe that they're not as far off. I do believe Oregon has a little bit more in the trenches. There are a couple of Indiana monsters that people don't even know about, like Isaiah Jones, very versatile guy, and Tyreek Tucker. Right, everyone knows about Mikail Kamara, but what about Isaiah Tucker? He's been Isaiah Tucker, Tyreek Tucker. He's been great this year for Indiana, and there's a whole bunch of guys in the secondary. Amari Farrell, he's been great. You could go through these rosters all day. I'd love to break this down a little bit further, but that will be my prediction. 31-23. Oregon pulls it out at home. Does that mean Indiana is done? By no intents or purposes. These are two undefeated teams playing for the right to right now be atop the Big Ten leaderboard, to have the tiebreaker. Indiana, you want to go to the Big Ten champ game? This is the type of game that you have to win, because then you're staring down the barrel of Penn State, and Penn State's probably going to have somewhat of motivation going into that one. Oregon, this is your shot, because you're really only staring at USC at home and then at Washington to end the season. The last 2 weeks of the year is your only real tests after this game. This is your chance to show the country, not Ohio State, Oregon is the best college football team in the country. We were down 34-0 at halftime, but this is a different Oregon team. They caught us on a bad day. We're ready for that team. Want to play us in the Big Ten champ game? Let's see it. We think that we've got something different this year. Again, there's a lot to be seen and to unfold, I should say, for the way that these programs will look like in a month from now and how this will go. I don't see it being a blowout. If I were to, I would see it being in the favor of Oregon, not in the manner what Indiana did to Illinois, and Illinois showed they're a better team than people give them credit for with the way that they bounced back, beating USC at home. Just shows how much more impressive it was for Indiana to do that to a ranked team like Illinois. So I've got that. Let me know down below in the comments who you think wins this game. Am I wrong? Indiana pulls it out on the road, getting a massive upset win, or does Oregon pull it out at home? They have just enough to defend their turf, and Dante Moore gets it done. Dan Lanning and company threatened to be the best team in college football and take that #1 ranking. I appreciate you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe for more Blitz with Blender content. I make Blitz with Blender content every single day, NFL and college football videos. The season is barreling forward. Cannot believe we're about halfway through this thing. probably for both of these teams, there's a lot more than maybe only 12 games to be played. We'll see more of that if they are on trajectory to get into the college football playoff and do a bit better than that. But I appreciate you. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Best player in college football. That Georgia and Ohio State game, New Year's Eve, is going to be a classic.
Josh Blunder. Hi, everybody. I'm Josh Blunder.